Hello and welcome back to another Space Engineers showcase video. In today's video, I'm once again taking a look at one of your designs that you recommended me in the comment section of one of my videos. And if you wish to see something of yours shown on this channel, just leave me the name of the Steam Workshop item or the mod.io item and I'll eventually get around to it. But for today we are looking at another large ship, and this one is called the V-685 Aegis, which is this lovely thing over here, and hopefully I'm saying that correctly, so I always get that word mixed up. I also found a very fancy skybox which you may have noticed in the background. It's got a lovely red glow to it and a big planet in the distance. There'll be a link to that in the description below if you do wish to play with that, as well as the ship. But anyway, this is a large block ship that has an impressive array of custom weaponry. The creator has made great use out of the custom turret controller, where we have a custom Gatling turret right here, where we've got ourselves 6 Gatling guns. All the way over here and on the opposite side, we've got a custom autocannon turret, where we've got 4 of them on here. And then my personal favourite in middle is a dual railgun turret, which is very impressive to fire. Very chunky sound it makes when both of those fire together. We'll test out a bit later, maybe against another ship. Anyway, coming all the way over to here and pressing F10, finding it in the spawn menu, there's the actual name itself, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is 1,659 large blocks using one hell of a lot of DLC packs. We also have a unique bit of information where we can see the value of the ship in space credits. So just give this thing a thumbs up, move all around to the very front, while a quick look around the outside, then we'll have a quick tour of the interior that would test out some of those custom turrets against a poor little pirate and see what kind of damage we can deal. So all the way over to here at the very front, this is what we get. So right down the middle we've got a bunch of hydrogen thrusters, then we've got 2 large ion thrusters on the left and right hand side, with 4 more just below it. All the way up to here we've got ourselves a sneaky little cockpit, which is how we're going to fly this ship around. In front of the cockpit we've got ourselves one of our bridge windows, make sure it's got a little bit of protection from any kind of stray shots coming towards you. We can also see a bunch of clean grey and orangey yellow blocks that make up the main body of this ship. Then if we were to move all the way around onto the side, we'll see a spotlight with one on the opposite side with a lovely yellow glow. And then here we go with all the other light grey and yellowy blocks. So all the way onto the side, this is what we get on this section, a bunch of ion thrusters, a bunch of hydrogen thrusters help on our left and right hand side, along with 2 blinking red lights. On the opposite side, instead of the red lights, we've got our green lights. We can also see some window blocks where we can peer inside the ship. We'll take a better look at that when we go around the inside. All the way down to here, we've got even more hydrogen thrusters and some more blinking lights. We've got some more hydrogen thrusters and some great use of our stair blocks acting as decoration. If we were to come all the way over to this section, this is our ship docking pad where there is one on the opposite side. So we've got ourselves a merge block, we've got a connector and a door. As you notice, they're all turned off, because the only way you're going to be able to dock up to this ship is if the person on the inside takes control of the door and allows you to come inside. Moving across over to this section, we've got then a smaller port, where these will open up regardless of how friendly the interior is. So we just walk up to it, press it, and the doors will track up into the ceiling instead of sliding across to the side. We also got 2 connectors there to connect the ship up, as well as some catwalks to allow you to walk across to the door. We've got some great use of our transparent LCD screen in the middle, and then we've got our number blocks and letter blocks along the top there, pointing out the V-685. Moving all the way along onto this section, we've got some great use of our ramp blocks. We've got ourselves one of our heat vents, which should light up when we start to move the vehicle. And around onto this section, even more ion thrusters, another red blinking light, and we can just see that railgun turret just calling out to me in the distance to use it to blow something up. Anyway, over to this section, another set of ion thrusters. And then around towards the back, we'll see even more ion thrusters, a couple of large hydrogen thrusters, and then a couple of antennae to make sure we can always find this thing. Even more great use of our ramp blocks, even more of our clean grey blocks. And if we were to come all the way down to this section, you might be able to make out a beacon just above that hydrogen thruster. If we were to come all the way down and underneath this vehicle, right down to here, we'll see the first of a few magnetic plates to land this thing down on. Even more great use of our stair blocks. All the way over to here, some atmospheric thrusters, because this ship can go into an atmosphere as long as it's a Earth-like gravity. And we can also see some hydrogen tanks all the way along the bottom there, with some catwalks just covering them up. And going along towards the front there, we can see our connectors on the opposite side there. Then all the way over to here, we've got ourselves an air vent to suck in oxygen from the outside. Some more hydrogen and ion thrusters. A couple more hydrogen thrusters on this section. And there is the green blinking light on the opposite side. Okay, we'll have to come all the way up to here. We'll just show you the other green blinking lights. There we go. Then moving all the way up and above this vehicle and looking down, there's the top of our cockpit where we can just about make it out. And all the way over to here, some more great use of our stair blocks. And all the way onto this section, some more ion thrusters to help move us down. There are some rather exposed cargo containers, but with the sheer amount of firepower on this, they should be relatively safe. But if you are worried about their safety, you can always download a shield mod and use that to protect them. Over to here, this is our Gatling custom turret where we've got ourselves a hinge, a camera in the middle, and a bunch of Gatling guns, with rotor just hidden away in there. These have all been set up so they are AI controlled, so you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Anyway, moving along past this cargo container, we've got some parachute hatches just in case you go into emergency on a planet. And along towards the back there is our custom railgun turret. Then on the side, there's our custom autocannons. We can see the edges of our ion thrusters. There is a beacon we saw at the back there. And that is a very brief look around the outside, and it does look fantastic with how it's all been set up. One hell of a lot of detail has gone into this. I absolutely love the custom turrets. That was a very good addition to the game, and is getting a lot of good use on many ships and bases. But yes, now I can grab hold of my character, and we can take a look on the inside. Come all the way past, we can't get in that door, so we have to come across to one of these doors. I'm going to land myself at the back, so we'll go to the back of the ship first of all, because that's a dead end. I'll go towards the front where I can drive this thing around. So clicking the door open, there we go, that'll now fold all the way up, and we head on inside. It should close up automatically because we do have an auto door and airlock script. I'm not sure if it's been set up for this door. So it just closes up manually. There we go. Turning around and looking in this room, there's those hydrogen tanks we saw at the bottom of the ship. There are those cargo containers we saw at the top of the ship. And looking towards the front there, some great use of our catwalks. Some lovely lights just giving that ominous glow. If you were to look all the way up, that's what we get. And then moving around towards the very back here, all the way into here, these are where all of our custom turret controllers are sitting, with a lone programmable block which is also helping out with the turrets. On the floor there we do have a jump drive, and around at the back there is our warfare reactor. So all the way over to this is how we can control one of the autocannon turrets. Turning around and coming over to this one, this is how we're going to control the Gatling gun turret. And then this one should be for the railgun turret. Let's go and take control over this one very quickly. Where's the control block? There it is. This is what we get when we're manually controlling it, and this is it firing. A real crunchy sound when that fires. You know you're going to deal a lot of damage just based off the sound this gun makes. Anyway, coming out of that and turning all the way around. The other one will be also for the autocannon, and that is that for this room. So we were to come all the way around towards the very front here, past our doors on the side, we'll then come over to a button panel where we can then depressurize the area and then open and close the exit door. So there we go. Should have really depressurized the area before opening that, but oh well, who cares, it's creative. Anyway, opening up this doorway, if it will let me, there we go. We now come into a little intermittent room. We've got another button panel to pressurize, depressurize, and then open that door over there. We can also clearly see our air vent below that, so if we were to hit depressurize, you now see that will start to suck out the oxygen in this little room. Then once we're done, now open up that, and then walk along into here. Or get pinged back. And I'm sorry if you hear some background noises, there's some building work on the house next door. Can't really do too much about that. Anyway, in this room right here, turning around, this is the locked door we saw at the front of the ship. To open this up, we have to walk all the way around over to this little button right here, where this is going to be to lock and unlock the door. So now the door is active, we can now manually open that if we wanted to, or we can come around and press the big red button on top and now open both of them at once. So now the dock ship can come in, and yes, that is that. So coming all the way back around and pressing that button once again, we can lock it up once again to prevent any kind of unwanted visitors coming in, even though they can come through the other doors, so make sure you lock them. Yes, turning around over here, another button panel to pressurize this area and to open and close that doorway over there. Another warfare reactor, a warfare battery, a oxygen tank, and an O2H2 generator, so we manually access this if we needed to. On the opposite side is the exact same setup, and of course another button for that doorway on that side. Turning around and looking at the front, we then got some access points on the sides for a basic refinery, and then a assembler, then a doorway where we can come all the way up. This will lead us over to our cockpit of where we can drive it. Looking around the room, we've got some windows. These are the windows we saw at the very front, but they've got a unique feature. If I was to turn around and find the button panel right here, we've got a window blast door button. If we press that, it will close up the doors and seal us inside, giving us a nice bit of protection from any kind of shots coming towards us. It's a very nifty way of using that sliding door and make a great alternative to using hangar doors. We now just open that up, down they come, and then close it up. It's just a very nifty little thing. Anyway, the other button there is to turn the lights on and off, and I'm not too sure why the air vent just made a little puff of oxygen, so we'll just ignore that for the moment. Next to that, we've got a bed to go to sleep on, there we go, and we've got a window to peer down into that little room we were just in. The only other place we can go is up the steps into the cockpit, so we'll come back to that a bit later, so we need to come all the way down to here, just come down into this section, where you come past a programmable block, which is for our automatic LCD screens. There's whips, auto door and airlock script. Turning around onto this side, we've got a sneaky cockpit where we can manually control our guns if we need to. So we press number 5, take control of the railgun once again. We can come out of that, we then take control over our Gatling turrets. There we go with that. Come out of that one, we now take control of our autocannons. And the last one is of course another autocannon. The other buttons I'll ignore because I'll cover them in the front cockpit. Yes, that's there if you need it. Turning around and coming around over to this section, a survival kit to respawn on and to heal yourself. Then around onto this section, we've got ourselves a cryopod for a quick little recharge. And a store where we've got some very overpriced steel plates. Yes, 500 of them. And I'm going to buy all of them right now. Yes, just give me all of them. Unfortunately, I can't buy them because that's 624,000 space credits. That is a lot for 500 steel plates. Anyway, it's time to come back to that cockpit and the front there because it's time to fly this thing around and see what it has to offer. So we'll just close that door up for the moment. There we go. Come up these steps and into the cockpit. In first person view, this is what we get. So thanks to those bridge windows, we do have a very clear look all the way around us. And if we have to bring up the HUD, these are the controls that we get. But first of all, looking down, we can see some more LCD screens where we've got our hydrogen and oxygen usage and of course which thrusters are turned on and which are turned off. In the middle and looking down, we can see our power reserve and usage. And then on the left hand side, we can see our speed, our dampness, our altitude, and all that. So it's very good information for a large ship to have. Into third person view and press number 1. This is going to be for our hydrogen thrusters all the way around the ship to turn them on and off. Number 2 and number 3 is going to be the same for the ion thrusters and atmospherics, so you can turn them off if you don't need them. Number 4 is for our hydrogen tanks to stockpile on and off. Number 5 is for our parachute hatches to toggle them open and closed. And if we were to press number 6, that is going to be for our low power mode, where all it seems to do is change our lights. So coming into here and finding the low power, there it is. As you can see, all it seems to do is change the airlock lights. Number 7 and number 8 is for our hydrogen thrusters to override them so we can get a good speed boost without needing to press anything on our keyboard. Number 9 is for our jump drive where we can jump 1,836 kilometers, which is very nice. We're going to do that right now, all the way past the Mars-like planet. So here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Where's Mars-like planet? There it is in the distance. Coming to tab number 2, this is going to be for our docking bays on the side. So 1 and 2 is for our connector and merge block right there. Number 3, number 4 is for both of those doors just to close them up. And then number 6, 7, 8 and 9 is the same for the opposite side. Coming to tab number 3, these are controls for the rear doors as well as the custom turrets once again. So 1, 2, 8 and 9 is for the turrets on top to take manual control over them. 3, 4 and 5 is for our rear doors, so we can open them up. There we go. And we can close them up. Number 6 and number 7 is to turn on and off the front doors, so we'll also turn on number 7, come back to tab number 2, and then press number 8, we'll then open the doors up, let people in, then we can close it up and then turn off the power to stop them from getting out again. On to tab number 4, we don't need to worry about this one because it's just for our programmable blocks and for our heat vents. Look back to tab number 1, we'll do a little test fly and see how this thing handles, then I'll spawn in the enemy to see how our custom turrets can handle them. So moving forwards, this is what we get. For a large heavy ship, we've got some great speed thanks to all those thrusters at the back there. Coming to a stop, we are a little slower and we do have the mouse control to do a 180, but it looks like we're going to stop in time before actually needing to do that. Moving left and moving right, again some fantastic speed with that, which is always nice to see on a large heavy ship. Moving down and then moving up. Again, some fantastic speed all the way around the ship. It feels very well balanced, very well thought out, and should do you well in combat. Wiggling the mouse around, this is what we get, so there is a little bit of weight on here, but it's not too draggy. It feels like a medium-ish ship and should do you very well in combat against a smaller, faster ship. But now what I can do is test out the guns on this ship with a ship that I've already spawned in. That is the Albatross, and we're going to give this ship to the space pirates to see how well the guns can handle it. But first of all, for good measure, what I'm going to do is find the railgun turret. There it is. And we're just going to blast it all the way over to here to give it a head start. So here we go with that. And that was a nice chunky bit of damage where we revealed a beacon on the inside. Now we can come across over to one of the autocannon turrets. There we go. And let's see what kind of damage we can deal. Oh, that's on the opposite side. We want to have that one. And there we go. Can't really see too much because of the smoke, but I'm sure I've damaged something. So it's time to come out of that and all the way out of that and give this to the space pirates. And we should see how well this goes. Making sure the free camera is in a good enough position. That should do quite nicely actually. We'll have it right over here. And here we go. And there goes the turret, there goes the railgun, and look at all of that damage going. I'm not sure they're actually targeting any of their guns, so we might get disabled very, very quickly, and it does look like that has happened, which is a little bit disappointing, but then again, the Albatross does have one hell of a lot of guns on it. So the only way to solve this problem, the only way to destroy the Albatross is of course to hopefully rely on that other turret. There we go. But the actual thing I was going to do is ram this straight into it, and there goes one of my turrets. Oh dear. But yes, it's a fantastic looking ship with a lot of stuff going on in it, one hell of a lot of detail, and a lot of fun weaponry on this. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download and play around with it yourself. I highly recommend you do, along with a link to the Skybox I'm currently using. And as per usual, I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.